Hi, I'm Frankie Valli, and I really do think that you should come out and see this show if you want an evening of really fine entertainment.
Hi, I'm Rick Elice. I am a author of Jersey Boys with Marshall Brickman. It's the story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. It's a really good story. Toronto Center for the Performing Arts has been empty for a while, and we're here to relight it and hope that you all turn out and support this great place in Toronto. Show's directed by our Toronto-born Des McAnuff, who is really working at the top of his game, and you're going to have a great time.
Uh, how about Over the Top? Is that surprised enough? I mean, it's hard for me to believe that this show has been as successful as it has, and there have been so many people who come to me and tell me that they've gone to see it 3 or 4 times.
Well, we sat down with Bob and Frankie to begin with, and they started telling us about what it was like to grow up on the wrong side of the river, Italian American, first generation, blue collar, not knowing really what the future was going to be. Lots and lots of siblings. Parents didn't really particularly speak English. Lots of organized crime, constantly looking over your shoulder, tempting you to come, the wrong side of the street. And two pictures on every living room wall. There's the Pope over here, and there's Frank Sinatra over here. And it was the sort of neighborhood where the only chance you had really to be better than what your parents had wasn't going to be becoming a doctor or becoming a lawyer or joining the army, because there was no war at the time. It was trying to be an entertainer, make something out of yourself, and pull yourself out of the neighborhood. And they started telling us what it was like, and we're two overanalyzed, overeducated, overindulged, very sophisticated Upper West Side New Yorkers who always thought people from New Jersey were, a little bit not right. And in about 30 seconds, we were leaning forward like kids at bedtime, hearing the greatest story ever told, saying things like, "Did that really happen?" And "You got to be kidding," and "What happened next?" And we realized that what was being passed over to us was a really remarkable story that hadn't ever been told before, because so much of what they were telling us would have ended their careers if this had gotten out when they were actually putting the records out. And suddenly now, 40 years later, it's the stuff of great theater. So we were kind of kicking ourselves under the table thinking, we've just been handed a pot of gold if we don't screw it up. And so it seems as though the theater gods were smiling, and we didn't screw it up too badly. And of course, Des McAnuff, our local Toronto native son, came along and at the top of his game created a production that is, I think, the gift that keeps on giving. Not for us, but for the people who come, which is why people keep coming back. I think the music gets them in there. The music is great. We know the songs. They're performed really authentically in the show, too, the band. The actors play their own instruments. These guys sing and dance and act. These four young guys who are the Seasons, and all the other people in the cast who play all the other characters in their lives, the mob figures, the wives, the girlfriends, other people's wives, the record producers, the studio bosses, the record promoters. It has this authentic feel to it, and I think that it's very, very seductive. There's this great alchemy that happens in the show where the audience forgets they're watching actors and really believes they're watching the story of these Jersey boys and what that means. That whole sort of second family thing. It's all about being part of a group, and we all know what that's like.
When I saw it for the very first time, I saw it performing for real for an audience, and there were a lot of things about it that, here you are, you're watching your life, and you're worried about being uncomfortable. I saw myself, and I was a little uncomfortable with the way I was being portrayed, because, I'm seeing someone else do me. And, so actually, I don't really know. I'm saying, do I walk that way? Do I talk this way? Or do I, all these things are going through your mind. And After 2 or 3 times, I got very, very comfortable with it. I was very pleased with the actors that were portraying the various characters, and it just got better and better for me. I also think that the surprise for people who've come to see the show, the things they did not know about us. Were some of the things that helped this along a great deal. We grew up in a time and a place where if you got in trouble, you couldn't get any further than trouble after that. So a lot of what had gone on in our lives before we had any success was really a secret. So it's all the little secret things that nobody knew about. It's really hard to say, we've been incredibly fortunate with having as many hits as we have. Even in the play, it's impossible to get everything in. I don't know, I guess Ragdoll would have to be one of them that would be an important song. And of course, Sherry was the beginning, and, and Oh, what a night! It's hard. It's like saying to someone, "Well, you have these 12 kids now. Which one of these kids do you think is going to be the most successful, or the one that they talk about most?"
You trying to tell us you have 12 kids?